Welcome back to the List Building Lifestyle. I'm your host, Igor. I've always been a big proponent of the famous Dan Kennedy saying that I picked up from him many, many years ago that busy is not productive. And it's very easy to confuse the two. And one of the secrets to my productivity is to focus on the things that produce the vast majority, the bulk of my results. Specifically, I'm a big believer in the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. It's a principle that's been talked about by many business gurus. And it's truly one of the greatest productivity secrets of modern times, which states that, there's 20% of actions that you take on a day-to-day basis or a quarterly or an annual basis that produce about 80% of your results. Now, if you measure your results by the amount of money you're making, then you can quite quickly and quite easily identify what these things are. So in this episode, I'm being interviewed by my friend David Deacle, and I share with you what are these 20% of things that produce 80% of my results. So enjoy.
I'm Igor, and this is the List Building Lifestyle, the podcast for anyone who wants to build a wildly profitable email list working from home. If you'd like to make six figures, travel the world, and help people improve their lives in the process, this podcast is for you. I also invite you to claim a free copy of my best-selling book, The List Building Lifestyle: Confessions of an Email Millionaire, at igorsbook.com. Get the free book plus $3,000 bonus package that includes my best capture page templates, email swipe files, and traffic blueprints. Visit www.igorsbook.com for details. And now, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle.
What would you say are the most important things that you don't let a single day go by without doing? Like, this is something that I want everybody to kind of really and pay attention here, guys. Like, don't think I've heard this before. Whatever the answer is, pay attention. If you're not doing what he's doing right now, you're not going to be able to get to wherever you want to get to. So pay close attention now.
Right. So if we look at the 80-20 rule, which is a rule that I try to incorporate in every area of my life, meaning that by doing 20% of the effort, I'll get 80% of the result, which is the way my life works. I never try to get everything 100% perfect. I'd rather do the small things or the minimum things required to get the 80% of the outcome. So when you look at it, when you think about it, in my business, running promos is definitely one of those things. Building my list is another one of those things. So what that means is that driving traffic and then following up with that traffic would probably be the two most important things to do in my day in order to continuously guarantee cash flow. So on top of that, some additional things that I'm doing is, of course, looking out for new, exciting, great offers to promote. Because if the offer is great, it's very easy to promote it. If you run enough of these promos, then you have other things you need to do, such as making sure you get paid, for example, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you want a promo and you'll make, say 10 grand, but then you realize that the person who's supposed to pay you ain't paying you out on time or something. You have to follow up, right? So that's more of a, it's not really work. It's more of making sure you get paid kind of thing. Yeah. But in terms of day-to-day activity that I will not let a day go by without making sure that gets done either by myself or someone on my team is sending out emails to my list and driving traffic. The two big things. If I want to make more money, I'll then either find something to promote or I'll create a new product myself, which of course is a really advanced technique that you only do after you've succeeded, with affiliate marketing. So again, to answer your question, drive traffic, and hopefully you can automate this, because if you don't, this becomes more than a full-time job. So drive traffic and promote to your list, write emails to your list. If you need to shoot videos to your list, build, these pre-sale pages we spoke about. Do whatever you have to, but communicate with your people every day. Stay top of mind awareness and make offers, right? Making offers, another one. It's huge. I see people, I was just talking to another friend of mine. He's a super affiliate. He makes anywhere between 50 to 150 per month, 50,000 to 150,000 per month. And he makes that by mailing his list, inviting them to a webinar, and selling something on the webinar. And when he wants to make a lot of money, He basically mails his list for an entire week, inviting them to 3 consecutive webinars. So, for example, the webinars can happen on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it's like back to back. And so when he's done with those webinars that week, he walks away with like 50 grand. And I was talking to him, and that's, there's only one thing that he's doing all the time. It's basically mailing his list, inviting to a webinar. That's his entire business. If you summed it all up in one blueprint, that would be it. Get people to join his list, mail the list, inviting to a live webinar, present good content on webinar, and sell something.
Right.
Bam. There you go.
Isn't it basically a recipe that you repeat over and over right now, Igor? It's just this thing that you just do. It doesn't require,
Yeah, like I said, I built it out in a very detailed step-by-step protocol that has steps, and all I have to do is just start from the top and just follow the steps. Now, it didn't start that way. Some of those successes were accidental. Some of those things, I literally stumbled into. But that's one of the things you'll need to do as you evolve in this industry. You'll do things right accidentally, and then when you do, make sure to document it, go back, and ask yourself, why did that work? And how can I make it work again, but this time on purpose?
Right.
So what I notice, the issue with that I'm seeing in the industry right now is people don't give themselves permission to be successful. People think they need a certificate, someone's approval, right? And they don't write their emails, they don't promote anything to their list. A lot of them will get the traffic, but they don't really follow up with the list. So if you're in that situation right now and you're still waiting for something to happen, don't, because nothing will ever happen that will allow you to suddenly promote things. You need to start doing it, and you need to accept the fact that the first couple of times you'll do it, first 10 times you'll do it, you're going to suck. And that's okay, because very soon you will not suck anymore, and your promos will start being profitable. I mean, for the first, and just to put things into perspective, for the first 3.5 years, my promos sucked. Now, given I didn't have as much education and help and assistance and insights that you have available to you, I was mostly doing things in the dark, but it sucked for a long time. But I'm happy that I went through that process, because now because of all these failures, I'm able to consciously determine what works. And that's where you want to end up. First, you're unconsciously incompetent, then you're unconsciously, or I guess, consciously incompetent, then you're consciously competent, and then you're unconsciously competent. So you definitely want to make that transition as soon as possible. And the only way you get there is by failing forward. Okay, that's the only way to get there. You actually have to do something.
Right.
You actually have to write something or put something out there and be okay with it being not great.
And to add to that, it's not even, failure is one thing that you need to 100% embrace, and don't be kind of afraid of it. But there's a word for it. It's called practice. Practice. That's what we do. We practice until we get good at it. And then when you get good, and also think about it this way. Wherever you are in your business right now, think of the type of skills that could really transform your life. Sure, you could learn, example, how to design a little logo. Sure, but how far is that going to take you? Is that really going to take you to the lifestyle where you can wake up whenever you want and go take vacations and hang out in coffee shops for 4 to 6 hours? Or you can focus on creating the skill of creating promos and running promos and building your list and different things like that. And within, it doesn't take a long time, guys. Igor, when we started first working together, again, I'm not going to get into the whole story here, but from the time that I've met Igor, from the time I first met Igor, we didn't really start working together, but from the second time I met him and we kind of got connected until the time I actually started using everything and started didn't really know what I was doing at first. From the first month until the 4th month, by my 4th month, I was already bringing in over $18,000 per month. Now that's not, wherever you are in the world, that's a lot of money. That's still a lot of money. Back then it was a lot of money. Now it's just as much money today than it was back then. So think about what skill, if you're going to put the time into something, put the time into the right kind of skill. Don't let time is going to go by anyways. It's going to be next year anyways. So take the time to learn something that could truly transform your life, and not just your life, but the life of the people around you. How much does it impact your family now, Igor, that you've took the time to master this stuff?
Well, there's actually been a ripple effect at this point because it affected both the older generation of my family and the future generation. So not only my family, as in me and my wife, and we got a much better life. And so it affected our friends because our friends are together with us now because they're all involved in this. And not only their relationships thrive, but also they're now living extraordinary lifestyles. For example, my best friend Dennis, he lives in one of the most expensive condos, I think, in Toronto at this point. Like I think he was just house hunting, and he's renting something for $5,000 a month. That's a lot. That's a lot for a 30-year-old, and for anyone really. Mm-hmm. And my parents, they're, I took care of them, bought them an apartment, cash, and paying them a salary every month. And, my daughter, I was able, thanks to the money I make and not having to look for a job or look for a contract, was able to relocate to Toronto. And now my daughter and my son are going to be growing up in a first world country as opposed to a third world country back in the Middle East or Eastern Europe. So if you think about it, the effect, and I'm not even mentioning the clients I've served. And of course, helping you, for example, and the impact it had on your family, right? So what you were able to achieve for your circle.
Absolutely.
And of course, there's many other clients like you that I've had, but I'm not even talking about them. So if you want to do good by your family, you almost owe it to them to master the skill.
You'll have a lot of choice, basically. A lot of money provides more than anything choice to do things. It gives you a lot of options. Just start implementing. So Igor, thanks again, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
Thank you for listening to The List Building Lifestyle. Get access to the previous episodes, transcript of today's show, as well as other exclusive content at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. Also remember to claim your free copy of my best-selling book at www.igorsbook.com. It explains how I made millions with list building starting from scratch. Plus, I'll give you $3,000 worth of free bonuses, including my best landing page templates, email swipe files, and traffic blueprints. Go to www.igorsbook.com now to claim your free package.